How you guys doing? I'm here to drop another jewel. As I told you guys last week, I'm going to do a series on the major background check companies that a lot of these companies use to hire you and to either hire you or to deny you in employment. I'm going to break down the second company right here, which is one that's used by a lot of companies. It's called backgroundchecks.com. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to break this report down to the lamest terms. I'm going to go over how your rights can be affected, how to exercise your rights, which is the Fair Credit Reporting Act. I'm going to go over both of the reports that as given to you, one by the public and one personally to you. So backgroundchecks.com is a major background check company that a lot of companies use to either hire or to potentially fire you if they overlook some things, or to deny your employment. Now, if you haven't already, you can go to my YouTube page is under Paralegal Nation. You can go to my Facebook page, Paralegal Nation, or you can follow me on Mr. Amani 1985. If you don't know, I am a certified paralegal that works out of the state of California that specializes in expunging criminal records and also deleting expunged records off of these background check companies to put you guys in a better position to gain employment in any pretty much trade that you want to get in, and also obtaining business and professional licenses. So when you get your background check report, you get two different reports. I'm going to just name off. I'm going to go over those in depth in detail. So report ID ending in 3355, that's which is the last four of my report. It states that in limited to any records in our database that match your full name and date of birth, that we may report to an end user, typically employers or volunteer organizations. We will only do so as allowed by applicable federal law and our company guidelines. So what that means is when you go to a job and they use backgroundchecks.com as their main company to pull up your background, they're going to get one report. They're not going to get both reports. So any job or employers, of course, or volunteer organizations that pull up your background, they're going to get that report. And that report pretty much is to, show that either you have a record or not, or if you're a sex offender, or if you have any driving records or driving tickets, anything like that. They get that report so they can consider you for employment. Now the second report, which is mine ending in 0722, I'm gonna read the description of what's in the second report. It says the second report is made available only to you, meaning that it's only to you, nobody else can see this, and is not available to third parties, meaning other organizations that pull your background. This report contains other records in our database that may or may not belong to you, meaning like, because certain information like aliases, other names, of course, and misinformation can be on your report. And I'm going to talk to you guys how to delete things off the report with just these two pieces of paper. All right. So let's continue. In the interest of full disclosure, we deliberately performed a search that is much broader than the search we would normally perform for our end user customers. Records in this report may match only your first and last name or a similar name, and could either match your date or year of birth and have no date of birth on the record. Note that we would not report these items to an end user unless we perform additional research to determine whether these records belong to you and are reportable under applicable federal and state law and company guidelines. So basically what that means is, as I was breaking it down to you, you won't get a report that's specifically for you, that you only can see, that you can eventually dispute. You can dispute things off of the first report as well, but the second report is basically like, because what they do is they just get a bunch of information, and if it matches you, they go ahead and just throw it on your report, and it's up to you to dispute that information. And we're going to go over how a lot of people that have been falsely arrested for crimes, or they got their record expunged, they have this information on there that they need to get deleted to be more considerable for jobs and etc. All right, let's go to the next page. So the next page is going to talk about your enclosures. You basically, what your enclosures is, what's included in your report. This is what's included in your report. So let's go over your enclosures, and we're going to go over each of those things as well. Your report copies, basically what's on your report. Records database search results, meaning all the information that they have on this report that has your name in or name on it, or miscellaneous names. Summary of the rights of the FCRA, which is the Fair Credit Reporting Act, and let's talk about that. So when you think of the Fair Credit Reporting Act, you think of just the three major credit bureaus. But the Fair Credit Reporting Act is for any company. It's your rights for any company that houses your information. So let's say if there's 5,000 companies that's reporting information on you, which they have dozens of different companies, the Fair Credit Reporting Act is for any company that houses your information. You still have those same rights as if you was going through the big three, which is TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian. A lot of people don't think that. They think of the Fair Credit Reporting Act just has to do with credit. It has to do with any information that is obtained in these companies that's on you. So it talks about the summary of rights under California law, because I obtained my report in the state of California. California disclosure notice, basically the disclosure notice that they have to disclose this information to you. Rights, notice of rights under state law where applicable, and then your dispute request form, which you're going to go over later in detail. All right, so let's talk about the Fair Credit Reporting Act. I did a summary of it. So basically, your Fair Credit Reporting Act, it talks about the rights that you have, the right to investigate, the right to have proper information, so other people that's pulling this information can pull the correct information. They have to have accurate information. If not, you can dispute it. And I'm going to go over the dispute form right then and there. So this is about 3 to 5 pages. So another thing that's on here is basically the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. It talks about all those addresses right here. The same thing that comes with your Fair Credit Reporting Act. I don't know if you guys paid attention to that, but this is usually on there as well. It talks about how you can write them, and if background checks find a way to like violate your rights, you can get in contact with their big brother, which is the federal government. All right, so that's about 2 pages. And then you got the summary of rights of the California Consumer Reporting Agencies Act. Basically talks about misinformation, the rights that you have for if you're a California resident, a right that they have to do an investigation properly. Another right that you can get this report for free. This report is actually free that you can get, and I'm gonna give you guys the address on how to get that report. All right, so that's about 2 pages. Now, so this is the first report of mine right here. As you can see, I mentioned it. So that's the last couple of digits right there. And as you can see, it has my name, of course. You know my name, has my name there. Now with this report, it basically it shows if your SSN has been valid. So as you can see, got your name, date of birth, to make sure that everything is valid, because they're gonna get in contact with the information that they get it from, which is the Social Security Administration, to make sure that their name matches their Social Security number. And then so they use US One Search is one of the companies that they use. As you can see where it says criminal hits right there, it says no criminal hits, no convictions. So I don't have nothing on my record, because my record is pretty clean. They're going to make sure that you're not deceased. If you're alive, as you can see here, it says valid, SSN valid, not deceased. SSN valid, not deceased. Basically, they checking to make sure that their Social Security number is actually yours. Now right here is the next couple of pages are going to look like this, and basically this is a sex offender report where they searching all these different counties. So you got all these different counties where they're searching to see if you're a sex offender. That's just 2 pages. So you got those 2 pages. You got these 2 pages. They got these 2 pages. All these is like all the counties where they search in the whole United States to see if you're a sex offender. Those 2 pages. I'm just going down the list. These 2 pages. These 2 pages. And these 2 pages. They do a global search to see if you're a registered sex offender or not. And then it'll pop up on your record. Now this is my background for the second report. As you can see, the last couple of digits that I mentioned at first right here. And basically, as you can see, my name here, because your name's going to be on there. This is the second report, and this is the report that's only disclosed to you. There's something similar, because you can see you got the name and date of birth right there to make sure that you're not deceased, as you can see there. And then at the bottom, they do a US One Search, as you can see there, US One Search there with my name. And then it shows the year that your SSN been issued. Like it says California 1985 through 2004. So it shows that the year that your SSN been disclosed to you, issued to you. And then they do all these pages right here. This is they do a bunch of searches as far as if you're a sex offender or not. So it's all these pages here. They do a global search. So all these right here is pretty much all the counties that they do a background check on to see if you're a sex offender. Now let's go over the background checks report dispute form. So this right here, if you guys need a copy of this, I'll help you guys with it to fill it out. So basically this is a 2-page report. As you can see here, it says criminal record number here. So this right here, if you got your record expunged or if you've been falsely arrested for a crime, you can fill out this form and then delete all your information that you got expunged off of your record right here. Now let's talk about how do you get this report. So you get this report by going to this address here. You get this report here. Sorry about that. So you get this report here by going to this address here. So you'll go to PO. You'll write them, of course, PO Box 353 in Chaplin, South Carolina, zip code 29036-0353. Repeat that again. You'll write backgroundchecks.com, PO Box 353 in Chaplin, South Carolina, zip code 29036-0353. And what you want to do on there is say, hey, my name is such and such, my birthday, your social security number, your driver's license number, phone number, email address. What you want to do is you want to write them and say, hey, I would like a free copy of my report. Make a copy of your ID and a copy of your social security card. Send that to them, and they're gonna send you back your background check report, which is gonna look like this. Hopefully I wasn't talking too fast. If you got any records expunged off your record, the courts don't automatically send a record to all these different background check companies. You have to do it yourself. So let's say you've been doing really good for yourself and you got your record expunged. The courts it's not the court's responsibility to notify these companies. So let's say you don't do that and you try to apply for a job. It's 9 times out of 10, 10 times out of 10, you're gonna get denied because of that job, because they don't have an updated record. Remember, they just collect information from all these different sources. So you have to manually go ahead and fill out this 2-page report right here to backgroundchecks.com after you obtain your report, and then let them know that this record's been expunged. What you're going to do is you're going to send a copy of your results, which is your order for dismissal for the state of California. We're talking about California. And then they'll go ahead and delete it. And then what you'll do is you'll reapply for that job, and it's going to show that you have nothing on your record. As you can see, I showed you mine. I have no criminal history because I have no criminal convictions on my records. It's all been expunged. But yeah, stay tuned. And if you guys need help with this, I'm here to help you guys.